There's so much sleep advice out there, but in reality, great sleep comes mostly down to how you live your day and your evening. It's not one magic trick, it's a stack of habits that either build or destroy your sleep quality. Even pills only work properly if you time them right. Today, I'm ranking 18 everyday sleep habits. I'm Leonardo. I'm a PhD student exploring the intersections between sleep, music therapy, and neurobiology. I work with dementia carers who have fragmented sleep, and I love to turn complex sleep science and music science into simple, no-pill strategies you can actually use. So I've got a set of different pictures here that I want to show you, and I'm gonna start at first with this one here. Clearly it's a D tier. Alcohol as nighttime, not good for you. It makes you have less deep sleep, but we understand this approach to sleeping based on science must also be flexible, because we have lives, social lives, work lives that sometimes eat into our sleep routines and our sleep in general. So sometimes going out means that you are going to have a bit of alcohol. Here I can show you the evidence so you can see. You can have a look at here how alcohol use, chronic and acute, both affect sleep architecture. So you're not going to go that deep into deep sleep. And deep sleep is very important to recover. And what actually increases deep sleep, it's been shown that calm music, I'm going to put it in S tier, nature sounds. Yeah, maybe you're going to say, you're biased. You are a sleep music researcher. But I'm telling you, the evidence is showing that it increases sleep quality. That means people sleep better. And that's what we're trying to get. We want to get you to sleep great. And what does it mean? Calm music, nature sounds, anything auditory that is calming is shown to improve your sleep. I've been seeing in my research and my reading of the literature. Next up, I want to actually let you know that if you want to test which sounds your brain prefers to sleep with, I've created a free 7-day sleep sound protocol for you to go to sleep and get better sleep thanks to sound without any pills. You can get a copy of it down there in the description. You get simple instructions and the science behind each sound, and you get a sleep quality tracker that is intuitive for you to use and is based on the science. If you want extra accountability, you can also join the community, and it's free. Remember, sleep quality is even better than sleep duration. This is something to consider as we move forward. And something that actually reduces your sleep is caffeine. Caffeine close to bedtime is shown to reduce your sleep as well as your restorative aspects of sleep, deep sleep. So you see here, reduce total sleep time by 45 minutes and sleep efficiency. There was a study comparing different timings at bedtime, drinking coffee, 3 hours, 6 hours before, and it's recommended to do it, well, in this one they recommend 8 hours before, and if you're taking one of those pre-workouts supplements with caffeine, which has a lot of caffeine, it's even better, 13 hours. So that's quite a difference. Next one is actually smart caffeine intake. So I'm going to put this in A. So here's also dinner timing. For dinner, you actually would like to have your dinner 3 hours at least before bedtime. This is the ideal sleep quality. You don't have to follow this completely to the letter. You have to be flexible, you have to try your best, because these contribute to you having better sleep quality. At the moment, this is one I try to work with, trying to get my dinner earlier. But caffeine, I try to do 8 hours before bedtime. That's what's recommended. So you do it 8 hours before bedtime, that could be in the morning. Also, wait for 1 hour, apparently that's even better. So that's your inherent cortisol spikes in the morning, not overrided and combined with caffeine. So smart caffeine timing are crucial. Next one, obviously not an S, it's gonna be a D. Phones in bed. What the thing we have to develop here is a habit of associating only sleeping with bed. Ideally nighttime with bed. That has to be the best. Sex with bed. But no more. Doom scrolling, being cognitively stimulated at bedtime is not going to help because of something called cognitive arousal. So you have to develop that sleep routine so you're not actually overstimulating at bedtime and not getting that blue light. And so here comes the next one, evening light management. And this is crucial Because we've developed this ability to sleep evolutionarily to adapt to this sort of bi-environmental world, the planet in which we live in. That's the evolutionary description or theory of sleep. There's a time for being awake and there's a time for being in the dark. And apparently it's adaptive to have sleeping behavior in one of the two, and whereas daytime activity in the other one. I mean, one of the things that happens during dark environments is melatonin goes up, and so our circadian rhythm starts believing, oh, this is the dark time of the planet, nighttime. So dimming lights and getting blue light blockers are crucial for you to sleep better at nighttime. Get your morning sunlight. Morning sunlight, I'm going to put it in A tier, not S tier, because you can get to sleep if you don't get that morning light. But it's actually very nice to set your circadian rhythm, so your body has this inner clock, the circadian rhythm, is running without you doing anything, it's unconscious. And so you can still nudge it, shift it in directions, putting it in line with the solar cycle. So as soon as you wake up, get the sunshine, and then when you're getting into nighttime, get ready to sleep. So for instance, here it says phase advancing. This shows that it's possible. Evening use of light emitting e-readers negatively affect sleep and circadian timing. You start to go to bed later. Evening smartphone use affects sleep. More so adults than adolescents. And adolescents, you have minimal effects of using your phone at sleep time. So that's actually quite surprising. But when you're an adult, you have continued suppression of melatonin, unlike in your 14 to 17 years old. And this is a randomized controlled trial showing that it helps with insomnia using amber lenses. Let me show you. These are my amber lenses. They're very good. They're actually quite cheap. You can get your copy for between 10 and 20 pounds. If you go to my community, you can get a list of resources, sleep tech, that can help you fall asleep better. And you get them all in there, as well as the accountability and the free protocol for sleeping with sound. Next thing is exercise. Regular daytime exercise. That's actually in the S tier. Exercise is so good for your sleep. You get to improve your sleep quality just by doing exercise. You get to sleep better, and doing it during the day has been very recommended. I will talk a bit about timing in a second, but here you can see from this article optimal exercise dose and meta-analysis, meaning they've looked at loads of randomized control trials, and they've summarized in the conclusions that at least 4 times a week of equal or less to 30 minutes, and I've seen this also equal or less to 20 minutes once a week, but here 4 times a week, 30 minutes or less for a period of 9 to 10 weeks. High intensity, but also moderate intensity, here it shows in this sentence, has been shown to improve sleep quality. The little caveat here is that high intensity in the evening is actually not helpful. And so that is something you should consider. Here's my evening exercise. I'm gonna put it in B or C tier. Let's put it on B here. Because the thing is that if you're doing moderate to low intensity exercise, that's helpful, as we'll see in a second. Actually, gentle stretching, I'm gonna put that in an A tier. So there's just a little difference. If you're doing high intensity exercise at bedtime, it's shown to not be as optimal. So no exercise in this study at least showed that the closer to 100% in the study, in this metric, the better the sleep quality and the effects on these different sleep metrics. And so here, low intensity on sleep onset, so how long it takes you to fall asleep, was shown to be the best for going to sleep in the evening. So this is evening exercises for sleep outcomes. Part of the conclusion that they say low intensity exercise is the best. Meta-analysis. Other studies have shown that if you do an exercise, physical activity, it's going to increase the amount of deep sleep that you need in the subsequent night and reduce the amount of REM sleep. And REM sleep is important for emotional and mental processing. So if you don't give yourself extra time in certain nights that you've done a lot of physical activity and a lot of emotional and cognitive stimulation, you might need to catch up in your mental and emotional processing in the subsequent days. So you're kind of carrying that load with you. Stretching is great to help you go to sleep. Yoga, so that's an A tier. However, what's really good? Similar, where would these two go? Well, turns out that sex with orgasm is what helps you go fall asleep faster. Masturbation with orgasm seems not to be as effective as doing it with a partner, but it's really good. And doing it at bedtime is good. So you can see here's the effects on women, as orgasm versus no orgasm, much better sleeping. And the same here. There's no particular differences between genders, except that apparently men are more affected by a lack of orgasm. Apparently masturbation has not as much evidence for sleeping. The next one is bedtime journaling. If you don't have a partner to spend your time, put your thoughts on a paper and write them out. This allows you to clear your mind with anything that's coming up to you. Any thoughts, any emotions, any feelings, you just write them down. It could be completely expressive, unordered, just whatever comes to mind. Or it can be doing your to-do list. That has been shown to be more effective than, it isn't gratitude, but it was writing about your completed tasks. Participants who did to-do lists went to bed faster, fell asleep faster. So there you go, do your to-do lists before bedtime. Another one I want to talk about is strategic napping. It's a bit nuanced, because if you're doing a lot of napping but you're not sleeping at nighttime, you have some sort of insomnia, you're not doing it well. You have to stop the napping and start sleeping at bedtime. Nap during the night. You can do it like that to catch up on lost sleep. If you haven't got your desired sleep and you feel you've got a sleep loss, sleep debt is called in the literature, napping is great. 30 minutes is great, and the literature has shown that consistent daytime napping do not have higher cardiovascular risk, but doing consistently above 90 or 60 minutes, higher risks of cardiovascular disease over the long term. So that's why it's a bit nuanced. There are benefits to napping, but you have to do it strategically. Having a consistent bedtime and a regular wake-up time is one of the sort of sleep science health principles. If you can have that sort of lifestyle, waking up disciplined manner and going to bed at the same time, roughly 30 minutes around, you don't have to be extremely strict, that's optimal for you. Ideally, you have enough hours of sleeping, you're not cutting yourself short. If you can balance your social life and your work life like that, well done to you. However, if you're struggling with getting all those hours of sleep every night, sleep banking or sleep extension, I believe, based on the science, is an S tier. The thing is that you can't overextend your sleep, but if you're lacking, you can recover your sleep. Or if you want to prepare for the upcoming days, that's the idea of sleep banking. But I prefer talking about it in terms of recovering your sleep, because if you haven't slept enough, you let yourself sleep. Maybe you've done a lot of physical activity or a lot of emotional processing, and therefore you need even more sleep than normal because you've had intense days. Just let yourself sleep if you have the luxury of doing so. Let yourself sleep for longer. This doesn't mean stay in bed awake for longer. This means staying in bed sleeping for longer. And you're not going to oversleep. The science shows that to habitually short sleepers, sleep extension is actually recommended. I think increases other metabolic aspects. This was a control study. Even when forced for the protocol to stay in bed for 12 hours, people who actually were normal sleepers but didn't realize they had 1 hour of sleep loss, over the next 4 nights of being forced to stay in bed, don't sleep more than they need. The first night, they do recover with an extra 3 hours. We're not sure what's the actual formula here, but from this study, there's a sort of 1 hour loss of sleep, 3 hour rebound in the first night. So that's why in weekend catch-ups, you might be sleeping longer. You might be catching up your sleep. It's called the catch-up sleep in the weekends. But you can't just oversleep. You can try to stay there as much as you can sleeping, but you will eventually just come down to your optimal amount of sleep. So here it was 4 nights, as shown here. By the 4th night, there were no significant differences between the subsequent amount of sleep duration in subsequent nights. I recommend sleeping more if you haven't slept enough. If you're habitually short sleeper, you should stay there for longer. And I think it's fantastic because you can't overdo it. Unless you're staying in bed awake, you don't want that. You want to be in bed sleeping. This one is really good. Mindfulness. Mindfulness, meditation before bedtime, is shown to improve your sleep quality. For the case of insomnia, meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials. So they're looking at loads of randomized controlled trials, and they say that mindfulness-based interventions appear to be effective for the treatment of insomnia. And I love this because I like to do it with eyes closed. I kneel down, I just relax my mind. You're clarifying your mind just before bedtime. And so you're relaxing your mind for bedtime, which is different to, gentle stretching, for instance, because that's relaxing your body. Both go together, but a large part of not sleeping is when we're worrying and planning in bed. I have 2 more for you. Next one, warm shower before bedtime. This is great. Warm shower, not cold shower. Cold shower is going to arouse you. It makes you alert. Do it about 1 hour before bedtime if you have time. It'll be great. And the very last one is going to be a spicy one. Cannabis for sleeping. This actually is not at all good. As shown in this recreational cannabis use study, actually in loads of studies has shown that it's associated with poor sleep quality. The sleep duration is not optimal. Increased insomnia. And this is even seen in populations who use cannabis medically. It doesn't improve sleep quality that well. And so for people who use it recreationally, it's like alcohol, right? You are maybe balancing a social life. That's why I'm putting this in a D tier. I just want to remind you, you don't need all of these to have great sleep. You just need 3, maybe 5 if you can from the S tier. And so you can pick one of these to do it most of the days. Some days you'll have shorter sleep, and that's fine. You can recover later on with sleep banking and sleep extension, or with napping if you do it strategically. And this is a way for you to balance your sleep quality and your energy. If you want to turn this tier list into a daily cheat sheet, I've also built a visual sound sleep map. It's in different languages, 5 languages: French, Spanish, Italian, and German. And this is the A4 version. There's A2, A3. It just allows you to see all of the important sleep habits in one go. There's just so many things, as you see on this tier list. And so this is based on science. You also get the checklist with it, and it allows you to know when to use these daily habits with simple rules and visuals for you to remember. And if you end up in my community, you'll see how I use it to coach other people for their sleep using science. And these insights are based off busy schedules. As mentioned, I work with dementia carers, and their fragmented sleep does not come from the fact that they have internal sleep problems. It's because they have to take care of someone during the night and wake up constantly. I understand this perspective as well. Shift workers, maybe students. A lot of people can benefit. That's part of my PhD working with dementia carers. And so I'm putting all of this together based on published research and feedback from real people. And if you ever want personalized science-based sleep coaching, especially if you've got a messy schedule or chronic stress, there's also an option in the community to work with me more closely. If this helped you, subscribe, like, and drop a comment with any ideas or any questions that came up. I genuinely love reading your comments and your thoughts and replying to you. Make sure and go watch this next video if you haven't done so already. I'll see you in the next video, in my community, or in your dreams.